Statement after statement, statements after statements from within India. First we saw that there were Rahul Singh, Lieutenant General Rahul Singh, who happens to be Deputy Chief of Army Staff of Indian Army. He was speaking. Then there were statements from their NSA, Ajit Doval. Now we know that CDS, he has been giving some statements in past as well. He has come up with another statement in which whatever he has been saying, I will be highlighting in this video. Please do watch the whole video. Hello friends, I'm Raja Faisal, and in this video, you will be finding the truth and the lies. I will be highlighting with the comments and with the statements which are actually coming from across the border, and then I'll show you what the actual realities are. First of all, let's watch this first clip.
During Operation Sindoor on 10th of May, Pakistan had used unarmed drones and loiter ammunitions. None of them actually could inflict any damage to Indian military or civilian infrastructure. Most of them were utilized through a combination of kinetic and non-kinetic means.
Now in this video, CDS General Anil Chauhan, he's talking about that whatever the missiles and whatever the drones they were sent by Pakistan to India, they have been neutralized, soft kill or hot kill as he's mentioning. And I will tell you later on where did he get these wordings from and why he's using these wordings after 2 months of time, because they couldn't find the right wording before. Why they are using right now, I'll tell you later on.
A counter US system and a counter US grid. As drones and autonomous systems become the choice of weapons for targeting, developing counter US systems to protect our critical infrastructure and military assets assumes importance. Counter US operations are extremely complicated. Detecting, identifying, tracking and neutralizing drones involves creation of a counter US grid that must be capable of integrating and networking multiple technologies such as radars, sensors, jammers, as well as directed energy weapons. The effectiveness of this architecture will hinge upon seamless coordination and integration across air defense networks, civil aviation regulators, and local command and control structures to avoid gaps, fratricide, and operational blind spots.
Now in this clip, he's clearly mentioning that these are the things which we need to attain, and these are the things which we need to focus on, and how important it is to have a system, an air defense system that should be in place so that for the future we can of course focus on this aspect, especially how to counter the drones, how to counter the missiles, and how to counter any attack, a cyber attack on ourselves. Why he's saying it? Because they know the kind of damage Pakistan has done to them in May 2025. It is a sort of admission from CDS Anil Chauhan. Through his statements, he is simply telling that these are the things which we need to do urgently, because we have miserably failed in May 2025 war, and we have to focus on these. And there are certain avenues they have been failing again and again. I will show you which aspects they are.
Operation Sindoor has showed us as to why indigenously developed counter US systems and counter US systems built for our terrain and our needs are crucial. We cannot rely on imported niche technology that are crucial for our offensive and defensive missions. We must invent and build and safeguard ourselves. Dependence on foreign technologies weakens our preparedness, limits our ability to scale up production, results in shortfall of critical spares for sustenance and round-the-clock availability. Another important aspect of this capability is that foreign weapons and sensors, their capabilities are known to all, and adversaries can predict our tactics and doctrinal concepts based on the capabilities of this particular system. So you may have today on very modern aircrafts air-to-air missiles, so say ranges are known to us, so are they known to the adversaries also. And the moment if they are imported, then obviously the adversary can keep out of those ranges and develop tactics accordingly. So this becomes a severe limitation. But if you are developing systems which you own, their capabilities are not known to the enemy, and that may add an element of surprise.
Element of surprise. This is another admittance from CDS Anil Chauhan. General Anil Chauhan is simply saying that we need to focus on our indigenous products. We need to focus on our own production, so that the kind of production, the products we have been, of course, procuring from the other countries like Israel, like we talk about Russia, or like we talk about Americans, whatever the systems they were having, of course, it was deciphered by Pakistan way back. And when it comes to, as soon as India procures anything from any other country, Pakistan has been, of course, focusing on that, and how to counter that, Pakistan already knew. Like, I'll give you one example. When we talk about Rafales, I think India got trained on Rafales way later than Pakistan already did. Pakistan have been, of course, associating themselves, Pakistan's Air Force, they trained over Rafales, and they jointly trained with Qatar, because Qatar got Rafales way before India did. And Pakistan already had its work done. Homework was completed by Pakistan. When it comes to indigenous, why CDS Anil Chauhan is focusing on they need to put efforts on indigenous one, because they believe that it is easy to simply make another one rather than waiting for the procurements. Why? Because during the war, they simply, when they were smacked with the missiles of Pakistan and smacked with the JF Thunders, the carpet bombings of JF Thunders, their S-400 got neutralized. After it got neutralized, it was so hard for them to, of course, urgently ask for another one from the Russians, and that's why they want to go ahead with their own indigenous ones, so that it becomes easier for them to avail it rather than keep on waiting for it during the war. So this is an admittance in which they are completely admitting the failures in May 2025 war, and the mantra they keep on saying that nothing has happened, as Ajit Doval claims that nothing has happened to India whatever the drones were sent and whatever the kind of missiles were sent by Pakistan to India, nothing happened. I mean, this is what happened. That's why CDS is telling you that this is what we need to do, so that next time Pakistan can't simply predict everything and can't simply bust everything India has. As India tried to use everything on Pakistan, and Pakistan completely neutralized India. Why? Because Pakistan had its homework done on this, and he wants indigenous production, indigenous procurement. Why? Because there's only one reason. He knows Pakistan is smart enough to, of course, decipher everything.
In warfare, you cannot win with yesterday's weapon systems in today's warfare. In fact, today's warfare has to be fought with tomorrow's technology.
In warfare, you cannot win with yesterday's weaponry. They had yesterday's weaponry. They hadn't had up-to-date weaponry. When it comes to Pakistan, Pakistan might have had a little lesser number of planes, a little less capable in terms of Rafales and in terms of MiG-29s and Su-30s and Mirage 2000s and all of the weaponry, of course, Indian Air Force had. But Pakistan had the system, AWACS. Pakistan was very smartly using it. You have to be proactive about it. And Pakistan brilliantly make the best use of whatever the availability Pakistan had. And what Pakistan has done to India, India will never ever dare come towards Pakistan. Reason being, they have been gobsmacked by Pakistan. And how Pakistan did it, let me show you in this particular video.
All drones with low cross section also were detected, rendered useless through utilization of the indigenous GPS jamming systems that we have, the data and the SATCOM link denial that we created through our indigenous systems that we have made ourselves. So whenever those systems were attacked with the soft kill, they had their error induced into the GPSs and they were going haywire. And whenever they were coming to closer to any civil population or civil area of high value, a direct or a hot kill was achieved on them.
Air Vice Marshal Aurangzeb Ahmed, remember the name. This is the main culprit of India. Why I say this? Because he not only was part of the plan, the part of the system that was giving befitting reply to Indian Air Force right after the missiles they had launched towards Pakistan, but he was also someone who was playing with their nerves, with the Indian nerves. When he was saying something, they couldn't reply him. He was telling pinpointed realities at the same day. I'm talking about May 2025. This presser is from 2025, May 2025, on the day when it was happening and it was going live throughout the world. And this man was pinpointed reality, presenting with the pinpointed reality. And after 2 months, as I've shown you the very first video in which CDS, General Chauhan is trying to use the same wordings, but it's too late. General, it's too late. Whatever we have been saying the very first day, now you're trying to be a copycat.
EF utilization of niche and disruptive capabilities struck deep inside the enemy. And there were like hundreds of drones that were there. Hypersonic, engaged targets, deep, precise, lethal, destructive.
I think this was enough. This was enough, the wording, to tell India what had happened to them, why their air defenses were failed, why they were failing to defend themselves from the air. Because Pakistan's drones, they were hypersonic. They were hypersonic. The projectiles which were being sent from Pakistan, they were hypersonic and they couldn't do anything about it. That's why they were busted very badly. And I think this was the best wording that could ever be used. They need to look into the textbooks to find out what had actually happened to them.
This BVR fight of a couple of dozens up to 70 from their side, about 40, crossing 100, is the first ever in the history of aviation. It is going to be taught as a textbook case and a study and a reference material in the aerial combat history.
This beyond visual range missile war was a test case, was a reference material. What Pakistan has done to India, it will be taught in the Air Force textbooks, in the air defense textbooks as well. Why? Because this was the masterpiece which Pakistan presented India with.
Pakistan claiming that Rafale has been downed, etc. Can you put that question to rest and clarify on that?
I guess that question is for me. All right, I'm happy that you've asked this question. You know, we are in a combat scenario and losses are a part of combat. As for the details, what could have been, how many numbers, which platform did we lose? You know, at this time, I would not like to comment on that because we are still in a combat situation. And if I comment on anything, it will only be advantage adversary.
Now, this was the moment when after the pressers from Pakistan side, AVM, Air Vice Marshal Aurangzeb Ahmed, given them such a tough time that right after that their Air Marshal came, and when he came, Air Marshal Bhatia was in one of the worst conditions, reason being they knew what Pakistan has done to them. And the kind of morale and the kind of body language you have been watching in this video, it can tell you. And when he was asked what was the number of Rafales, what was the actual number of fighter jets, he simply said, it would be an advantage adversary and we don't want to give them right now. Reason being, we are still in the war. This tells you the condition Indian Air Force was in at that time. Friends, that's it. This is what it is all about. Whenever there will be any statements from any of the military leadership or the political leadership from the Indian side, especially related to whatever happened in May 2025, I will be coming up with the actual truth, with the reality. Reason being, Indian media and Indian political fabric and Indian military, all of them, they are known liars. They are known to be promoting and propagating the false narratives from their side. And it is necessary to bust them there and then, as I have done so right now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about this video, please do ask in the comments and I will be replying them. Take very good care of yourself.